Hands up!
Sri Lanka!
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 What do we want?
Peace!
What do we want?
Peace! Peace!
What do we want?
Peace! Peace!
What do we want?
Peace! Peace!
When do we want it?
Peace! Peace!
When do we want it?
Right now!
When do we want it?
Right now!
President of the Sri Lanka United National Association of Canada. Sir, what brought you out and the whole community out today?
Sri Lankans of Toronto have gathered opposite the US Consulate on University Avenue to protest their moves at the UNHCR. We want to tell the USA that it's an internal process that's going on, internal process of healing and reconciliation. The LLRC report was published only on the 15th of December 2011 and the government has undertaken to implement it, and there is no need for the USA to tell us it's redundant, their resolution is redundant, and also their attempt to bring in international intervention through the UNHCR, that is what we object to. First they must allow the domestic process to go through. If there are any serious shortcomings, certainly then the international committee can make further inquiries and then impress on Sri Lanka that she has to complete whatever has not been done. But right now it is absurd, it's redundant, it is interference.
There's many people in large numbers. I think we have so many people that we can't even count, and I guess the message was a strong one, right?
I think the Sri Lankans are quite patriotic, although we are outnumbered in this town by the pro-tiger groups. We have never, we have taken up every challenge, we have not fallen behind. So we have been right in the front lines. So, and also by communicating our message to other communities, some of them have decided to join us on this protest.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Sri Lanka!
Hands up!
Sri Lanka!
Hands up!
Sri Lanka!
Hands up!
Sri Lanka!
Hands up!
Sri Lanka!
War criminals!
USA!
War criminals!
USA!
War criminals!
USA!
War criminals!
USA!
Sri Lanka avatar! Sri Lanka avatar! India avatar! China avatar! Africa avatar! Jamaica avatar!
We have been here for the last 30-40 years, and I have moving with all the Sri Lankan groups here, and this particular event today, the protest in front of the US Embassy, people gathered here protesting against the resolution that is going to be placed by US against the government of Sri Lanka in the House UNHCR. So it was a really impressive demonstration, and I am very glad that we are now walking out of the process to get Sri Lanka message right across all the people in Canada. Thank you very much.
So what's your message for the Canadian Sri Lankan diaspora and the Sri Lankan diaspora in Sri Lanka?
We must get together and make Sri Lanka a place worth to visit, as also to make it a prosperous country, and we have to get back to our normal roots, and as well as reconciliation and reconstruction of Sri Lanka is very, very important today after 30 years of war. Thank you.
Thank you. Read the sign.
Double standard! USA! Double standard! USA! Double standard! USA! Double standard! USA! Matruvoomiyata! Matruvoomiyata! Double standard! USA! Double standard! USA! Matruvoomiyata!
All what we want is, when we have something, please do come. After all, it's your own country. That's the main thing that I have to say. Okay. Thank you.
We know that you sent
We have USA! You send a man to the moon! But don't interfere with Sri Lanka!
Don't interfere with Sri Lanka, USA! Thank you. I don't know. Go for peaceful protest and just keep the vibes and continue to make the issue known, because if you stand up and face things head on with a solution and make sure that you all put together some solution for your country while you're here and not just make some noise, just put together better things, better liberty and a better way forward.
Thank you.
But violators of human rights! Violators of human rights, USA!
This is one of the pioneers.
Violators of human
Hello,
rights,
Mayapa, representing the Persian community. And she's here in large numbers with her community as well. Auntie, what brought you out here? I haven't seen
For
this
the
time.
love of the country.
Yes. So what's your message to the people, Canadian, Sri Lankan diaspora, and everybody else who's non-Sri Lankan? What's your message to them?
Message is to stand straight, stand united and united.
Hands up!
This is one of the other pioneers of the community.
Yeah.
You have a word?
All we want is a united Sri Lanka and one Sri Lanka.
I'm representing Social Alliance of Canada, Leftist Alliance of Canada. So we are totally against the unfair, the proposal for the human rights violation in Sri Lanka, backed by USA. Always USA interferes Sri Lankan politics and destroyed several governments, and they want to regime change. They have the agenda. So we are totally against this conspiracy of the USA. So we will defeat it.
What's your message for the Canadian Sri Lankans and the Sri Lankan diaspora in Sri Lanka? What do you want them to do at this moment?
So we are having peace in Sri Lanka. We have to develop that part. So get together and send a strong message to USA and help Sri Lanka to rebuild the country.
This is Mr. Vikramasinghe from Voice of Lanka. Do you have a message for the Canadian and the Sri Lankan diaspora, sir? What brought you out here? Because I know you're a very busy person.
I came mainly because of Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka is our country, our motherland, and we want to safeguard it. And we don't want anyone to intrude, put their powers onto them and try to diminish all what we have done. For 30 years we have gone through a mess. We went through a hell of a catastrophe during that time. We are just coming up. We don't want that to happen again. And that's why we don't want any outside interference. We want to have peace. Bottom line, the president wants to have peace right round, and we want other nations not to interfere and to leave us in peace. That's all we want.
What's your message for the Canadian and Sri Lankan diaspora here?
Bottom line, we must know to safeguard our country. Although we are here, we are in spirit, we are in Sri Lanka. Most of the people who are here, they have got the benefit, education-wise, all that they have taken. You ask anyone, they are all lawyers and doctors. Where did they have all that education? In Sri Lanka. So likewise, don't try to tarnish our image, try to help us. Try to help us in every way you can. That's about it.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
sir.
Right across the street from the US Consulate, and you're looking at a protest organized by the Sri Lankan people.
You came here with Leaf Branding. We were doing a promotion for the magazine.
Okay, can you tell me your name and the organization you're with?
My name's Emily and I'm with Leaf Branding.
And what do you think about the protest?
I think it's great. I think it's always great that people are speaking up about what they believe in. It's one of the great things about this country.
Yeah.
So hopefully it will work out just fine.
So if you don't mind, I'm assuming you're a second generation Canadian or first generation?
I'm first generation.
First generation, and your background is?
Chinese.
Yeah, you do know China is a big ally of Sri Lanka. It's one of the reasons Sri Lanka is protected, because China and India, they're all working together in unity for peace.
Yeah.
So any type of instability in Sri Lanka would cause issues within that region. So we're grateful for the Chinese community, and we thank you from the bottom of our hearts, as well as the Caribbean community and African community for being here with us for this, because we can't do it together. If you want to solve our problems, we got to help each other. So it's a global issue.
So it requires
all of us from the global community to come together.
Yeah. What do you think about the protest, sir?
Same thing. It's great.
And you're with the same magazine, or?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Culture Toronto Magazine.
Yay.
Dr. Asoka Pereira, he's a pioneer in the community. He's here independently. Well, I want to ask you, what brought you out to this protest? I know you're a very busy person.
This is very critical time for Sri Lanka actually, after the country and the people are like really getting back to the normal life, and therefore it is very important that this time the world community should support the Sri Lankan reconciliation efforts. That's why we are here today.
And what's your message for the Canadian Sri Lankan diaspora and the Sri Lankan diaspora in Sri Lanka? What do you ask them as a Canadian Sri Lankan?
Yeah, the main point is that the government has taken very positive measures after the war to bring all the Sri Lankan communities together. So therefore what we are asking the international community is to support the idea and provide more and more facilities that will bring all the communities together.
USA! USA! Sri Lanka! Sri Lanka! USA! 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 Hands off! Sri Lanka! Hands off! Sri Lanka! War criminal! USA! War criminal! USA! Hands off! Sri Lanka! Hands off! Sri Lanka! War criminal! USA! War criminal! USA! Hands off! Sri Lanka! Hands off! Sri Lanka! War criminal! USA!
And the thing is, let Sri Lanka handle their own problems, right? We don't want violence, and we are never a violent nation. We're peaceful people. We have come through this 30 years of struggle, and now it's time to rebuild, right? We don't want any outside political party or a country to get involved in our affairs and mess it up. That's what I'm saying.
Thank you, sir.
Last name for me?
His name is
Okay, terrific. Thanks so much.
Asoka Yapa, how are you doing?
I'm well, and you guys are doing a fantastic job. I'm really proud of you.
That's great. You know, this is everybody's fight.
Yeah, I really admire the youngsters who have organized this, because this point had to be made, and it had to be made today, before the Americans seized the initiative in Geneva. So thank you very much. We really appreciate the organization that you have put into this effort.
Bring the straight. Anyone like